PM down up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Pierre McNeil.
You are listening to a beat by Pierre McNeil. If you need a beat, contact me at PMDownUp.com. PM. Hello. Do you know I am now unemployed? The day before September 23rd, I told my boss, I can't come to work tomorrow. He said, why not? I said, because it's the end of the world. I have to prepare for the asteroid. I figured if I didn't go to work, I would lose my job. And if I did go to work, the asteroid would hit and I would still lose my job. It was a lose-lose situation. But at least, if I wasn't at work, I would have a head start at running from the asteroid. Because if I was at work, I know exactly how it would go. Hey, boss, how are you? All the work is finished, and I did some extra work too. The asteroid is about to hit in like 10 minutes, and I was wondering if I could leave early. Pierre, you are not scheduled to clock out until 5 o'clock p.m. It is 4:50 p.m. Please go back to work and look busy. But I have to leave now. Please lock up everything after the asteroid hits. Thank you. You would think on September 23rd, it would be a dark, cloudy, gloomy day. But no, it was 80 degrees. The sun was out. Birds were chirping, chirp, 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 chirp. Kids playing outside. The ice cream truck was driving around and waving, playing the ice cream song. Heidi-ho, Pierre, you want some ice cream? It was the perfect day for an end of the world apocalypse. You see, I knew an asteroid was coming. You want to know why? Because NASA said it wasn't coming. You have to watch for certain things. Whenever they say nothing is coming, everything is going to be all right, and that there's no need to panic. Bam! It's time to panic. For example, my old classmate's father was working in the Twin Towers building. After the first plane hit, they said over the announcement, everything is going to be okay. Remain in the building. Excuse me? I didn't hear you correctly. I thought you said everything is going to be okay. Remain in the building. That's not an air conditioner sticking out the window. That's not Jose getting paid $2 an hour to wash the windows. There's an airplane in the building. An airplane is in the building. What a sad event. And while 9/11 is happening, you have President George W. Bush smiling and spending time with black children, you know something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong. What did Charles Ramsey say? Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. People were talking about how on September 23rd, CERN was going to be unleashed. Doesn't that sound like that old lady with 200 cats in her house? Hey, Mike, I just moved in on the block. They say my neighbor is an old lady with 200 cats. They call her CERN. They say once you go in, you don't come back out. Another thing that they said would happen on September 23rd that got me on the edge of my seat, they said a tsunami will wipe out the east coast of America. A tsunami. They said that it would be 300-foot waves. 300-foot waves. That's like 1,000 Shaquille O'Neals. So at that point, I had one option, and one option alone. To play Madden and get ready to die. But while playing Madden, I felt the Kunta Kinte inside of me. I said, no, I will survive. I said, what's the one place where there's no earthquakes, no tsunamis, no volcanoes, no hurricanes, no black people? And there was one place, Minnesota. If I could make it there, I would survive. So I headed to the airport. I was so happy that I was going to survive. I started singing Hakuna Matata. So I'm going through TSA security, but it starts beeping. They said I had weed. I said, how is this even possible? So they checked me and found nothing. So I go through TSA security again, and it starts beeping. They said I had a gun. I said, you must mistaken me for a professional athlete. So they checked me again and found nothing. So I go through TSA security again, and it starts beeping again. I said, I have nothing in my pockets. You checked me twice. Then they said, Negro, we just don't want you on the plane. I tried calling Al Sharpton, but it went to voicemail. At that point, I had one goal in life: to be number one in Madden before the tsunami hits. For September 23rd, there were also talks of an EMP nuclear missile attack. So, I did what anyone else would do. I Googled it. EMP stands for electromagnetic pulse. That right there just sounds serious. And it is. If an EMP was to hit America, it would disable any and all electronics in America. It would totally destroy our power grid. In other words, that means no electricity, No more cell phones. No more doing laundry. No more banks. It would even take out the majority of the cars. Anything electronic would just stop working. You know it's the end of the world when people can no longer tweet or use Facebook. People wouldn't even be concerned about food and water. We're all going to die. I can't update my Facebook status. And that's not the bad part. This EMP attack is the biggest and most vulnerable threat to America. The bad part is it would take America 2 years to fix this EMP problem. Do you know what our USA government is doing and said about this EMP security problem? They said what some blacks say, that lazy mentality. They said, I'll handle it. You know you're in trouble when you ask some blacks to do something and their response is, I'll handle it. Don't worry, I'll handle it. That means I'll get to it when I get to it, and that means never. Well, that's what the U.S. government said. I'll handle it. Some of you might think an EMP attack wouldn't be so bad. Spending quality time with friends and family, sharing the bond of love with each other. Well, let's see how long you will last in the cold, dark, smelling the smell of Michael's stinky feet. His feet smelling like corn chips and sour cream and onions. You won't last that long. A lot of people are upset that nothing happened on September 23rd. A lot of people hate their lives and were looking forward to the world ending. Now they have to go back to their miserable lives. That guy who broke out of that Mexican jail, El Chapo, he's number 2 on the America's Most Wanted list. The guy who made the asteroid prediction, he's number 1. But who knows why these September 23rd things didn't happen. Maybe someone got the dates wrong. Maybe someone was smoking a lot of weed. Or maybe these September 23rd things has a little black in them, running a little late. And if that's the case, you better tell Michael now to wash his feet, smelling like sour cream and onions and corn chips. My name is Pierre McNeil. Visit me at PMDownUp.com. PMD. You're listening to a beat by Pierre McNeil.